Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's February 3rd, 2026. We are going to read from Genesis 35 and 36, and we're going to read from Mark chapter 6 today. All right, so we finished in Genesis with the rape of Dinah, and Jacob's sons slaughtered everybody they could get. And Jacob was kind of afraid, saying, hey, you know what? We're just one little family here. You know, you're going to make us everybody's enemies. We're going to be in trouble. We jump ahead about 10 years when we start this reading, and where Jacob was the smallest, he's now become much more of a force in this area. In fact, he has overtaken Esau. And that's what we get here is Esau saying, hey, you know what, this land isn't big enough for both of us. Whether he remembers the prophecy or not, or he's had a vision, he decides he's going to see her, and we're going to leave Jacob for the promised land of Canaan. And then we're going to see Rachel die in childbirth as she has the last son of Israel, which is Benjamin. And then Isaac dies, and Esau and Jacob come together and bury him. Then we're going to get a genealogy, first of the Hivites, then of Esau, then of the Hivites again. So as he goes to Seir and founds the country of Edom, he absorbs this group that's called the Hivites. And if you've got maps in the back of your Bible, you might have a map that corresponds to this. Mine says Israel within Canaan. Oops. Israel within Canaan, which is this map here. And I'm sure you can't see it, but it starts to tell us that Edom is down here, and you have the Moabites and Ammonites. So that's a good place to kind of get your mind wrapped around what's going on here. And that's where this section is. So let's go ahead. We're going to read Genesis 35 and 36. Then God said to Jacob, arise and go up to Bethel and dwell there and make an altar there to God, who appeared to you when you fled from the face of Esau your brother. That's where Jacob said, hey, if you bring me back here successful, you'll be my God. And Jacob said to his household and to all who were with him, put away the foreign gods that are among you, purify yourselves and change your garments. So we saw Rachel brought some back with her family gods, so they proliferated. There's a lot of them now. And this is Israel saying, nope, let's get rid of those. We're going to serve that one true God, Yahweh, and that's it. That was the promise I made. So let's pick it back up at 3. Then let us arise and go to Bethel, and I will make an altar there to God, who answered me in the day of my distress, and has been with me in the way which I have gone. So they gave Jacob all the foreign gods which were in their hands, and the earrings which were in their ears, and Jacob hid them under the terebinth tree which was by Shishim. And they journeyed, and the terror of God was upon the cities that were all around them, and they did not pursue the sons of Jacob. So Jacob, at the end of yesterday's reading, was afraid that the other nations would rise up against them. Once he trusted God and he's doing what God wants, those nations are too afraid to go attack him. They're going to let him go by in peace. Verse 6, so Jacob came to Luz, that is Bethel, which is in the land of Canaan, he and all the people who were with him. And he built an altar there and called the place El Bethel, because there God appeared to him when he fled from the face of his brother. Now Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died, and she was buried below Bethel under the terebinth tree, so the name of it was called Elon Bakuth. Then God appeared to Jacob again when he came from Paddan Aram, and blessed him. And God said to him, your name is Jacob. Your name shall not be called Jacob anymore, but Israel shall be your name. So he called his name Israel. And we've been jumping back and forth a little bit lately. Also God said to him, I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall proceed from you, and kings shall come from your body. The land which I gave Abraham and Isaac I give to you, and to your descendants after you I give this land. Then God went up from him in the place where he talked with him. So Jacob set up a pillar in the place where he had talked with him, and a pillar of stone. And he poured a drink offering on it, and he poured oil on it. And Jacob called the name of the place where God spoke with him Bethel. Then they journeyed from Bethel, and when there was but a little distance to go to Ephrath, Rachel labored in childbirth, and she had hard labor. Now it came to pass, when she was in hard labor, that the midwife said to her, do not fear, you will have this son also. And so it was, as her soul was departing, for she died, that she called his name Ben-Oni, but his father called him Benjamin. So Rachel died and was buried on the way to Ephrath, that is Bethlehem, and Jacob set a pillar on her grave, which is the pillar of Rachel's grave to this day. Then Israel journeyed and pitched his tent beyond the tower of Eder, and it happened when Israel dwelt in that land that Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Israel heard about it. So grave sin, sleeping with your father's wife. Now the sons of Jacob were 12. The sons of Leah were Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, who should have been the heir, but we just saw why he is not. And Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun. The sons of Rachel were Joseph and Benjamin. The sons of Bilhah, Rachel's maidservant, were Dan and Naphtali. And the sons of Zilpah, Leah's maidservant, were Gad and Asher. These were the sons of Jacob who were born to him in Paddan Aram. Then Jacob came to his father Isaac at Mamre or Kirjath Arba, that is Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac had dwelt. Now the days of Isaac were 180 years. So Isaac breathed his last and died, and was gathered to his people, being old and full of days. And his sons Esau and Jacob buried him. Now this is the genealogy of Esau, who was Edom. Esau took his wives from the daughters of Canaan: Adah, the daughter of Elon the Hittite; Aholibamah, the daughter of Anna, the daughter of Zibeon the Hivite; and Basemath, Ishmael's daughter, sister of Nebajoth. Now Adah bore Eliphaz to Esau, and Basemath bore Reuel. And Aholibamah bore Jeush, Jaalam, and Korah. These were the sons of Esau who were born to him in the land of Canaan. Then Esau took his wives, his sons, his daughters, and all the persons of his house, his cattle and all his animals, and all his goods which he had gained in the land of Canaan, and went to a country away from the presence of his brother Jacob, for their possessions were too great for them to dwell together. And the land where they were strangers could not support them because of their livestock. So Esau dwelt in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. And this is the genealogy of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir. These were the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, the son of Adah, the wife of Esau; and Reuel, the son of Basemath, the wife of Esau. And the sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho, Gatam, and Kenaz. Now Timnah was the concubine of Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bore Amalek to Eliphaz. These were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife. These were the sons of Reuel, Nahath, Zerah, Shammah, and Mizah. These were the sons of Basemath, Esau's wife. These were the sons of Aholibamah, Esau's wife, the daughter of Anna, the daughter of Zibeon, and she bore to Esau Jeush, Jaalam, and Korah. These were the chiefs of the sons of Esau, the sons of Eliphaz. The firstborn son of Esau were Chief Teman, Chief Omar, Chief Zepho, Chief Kenaz, Chief Korah, Chief Gatam, and Chief Amalek. These were the chiefs of Eliphaz in the land of Edom. They were the sons of Edah. So they're growing more than just families. Now they're starting to be clans and tribes and need chieftains. These were the sons of Reuel, Esau's son, Chief Nahath, Chief Zerah, Chief Shammah, and Chief Mizah. These were the chiefs of Reuel in the land of Edom. These were the sons of Basemath, Esau's wife. And these were the sons of Aholibamah, Esau's wife, Chief Jehush, Chief Jaalam, Chief Korah. These were the chiefs who descended from Aholibamah, Esau's wife, the daughter of Anna. These were the sons of Esau, who is Edom, and these were their chiefs. These were the sons of Seir the Horite, who inhabited the land: Lotan, Shobal, Zibon, Anna, Dishan, Ezes, and Dishan. These were the chiefs of the Horites, the sons of Seir in the land of Edom. And the sons of Lotan were Hori and Himam. Lotan's sister was Timnah. These were the sons of Shobal, Alvan, Mahath, Ebal, Shepo, and Onam. These were the sons of Zibeon, both Ajah and Anna, and this was the Anna who found the water in the wilderness as he pastured the donkeys of his father Zibeon. These were the children of Anna, Dishan, and Aholibamah, the daughter of Anna. These were the sons of Dishan: Himdan, Ishban, Ithran, and Cheran. These were the sons of Izir, Bilhan, Seaban, and Akan. These were the sons of Dishan, Uz, and Aaron. These were the chiefs of the Horites: Chief Lotan, Chief Shobal, Chief Zibeon, Chief Anna, Chief Dishan, Chief Ezer, and Chief Dishan. These were the chiefs of the Horites according to their chiefs in the land of Seir. Now these were the kings who reigned in the land of Edom before any king reigned over the children of Israel. Bela, so Edom has kings before Israel does. Now these kings are not dynastic kings. These are more like a chief who brings other chiefs under them, and they become a kingdom, and when that chief dies, that kingdom dissolves, and then another one springs up. So it probably predates the judges period, and the judges in Israel are probably closer to these kings. So we're seeing government happen elsewhere. While Israel lags behind a little bit, because they're going to be in the patriarch period for a while, then they're going to become slaves for a while, and then they become led by judges, little tribalistic kingships, I guess, and then finally a king after all the other nations have moved to a king. So Israel always lags behind a little bit, but when God brings them up to where the other nations are, they surpass them with their godly rule. That's one way, I think, to think of it, and we're going to leave it there. So now we're going to talk about the kings that show up in Edom. And Moses traditionally is the one who writes this, and he's preparing the Israelites who've come out of Egypt to go into the promised land, and he's bringing this ancient history down to the people that they're familiar with, and the chiefs and the tribes that they're familiar with. Verse 31, now these were the kings who reigned in the land of Edom before any king reigned over the children of Israel. Bela the son of Beor reigned in Edom, and the name of his city was Dinhabah. And when Bela died, Jobab the son of Zerah the Bozrah reigned in his place. When Jobab died, Husham of the land of the Temanites reigned in his place. And when Husham died, Hadad the son of Bedad, who attacked Midian in the field of Moab, reigned in his place. And the name of his city was Avith. When Hadad died, Samlah of Masrekah reigned in his place, and when Samlah died, Saul of Rehoboth by the river reigned in his place. When Saul died, Baal-Hanan the son of Akbar reigned in his place, and when Baal-Hanan the son of Akbar died, Hadar reigned in his place, and the name of his city was Pau. His wife's name was Mehetabel, the daughter of Matred, the daughter of Mezahab. And these were the names of the chiefs of Esau according to their families and their places by their names: Chief Timnah, Chief Alva, Chief Jetheth, Chief Aholabama, Chief Ela, Chief Pinon, Chief Kenaz, Chief Teman, Chief Mizbar, Chief Magdiel, and Chief Eram. These were the chiefs of Edom according to their dwelling places in the land of their possession. Esau was the father of the Edomites. So let's go ahead and we're going to jump to Mark chapter 6. And Jesus is going back to Nazareth to see what kind of a reception he gets there. Then he went out from there and came to his own country, and his disciples followed him. And when the Sabbath had come, he began to teach in the synagogue, and many hearing him were astonished, saying, Where did this man get these things? And what wisdom is this which is given to him, that such mighty works are performed by his hands? Now we've seen that response before, and it resulted in people marveling at the authority that he speaks. Oh, this is something special. It's not the response he gets here. Verse 3, Is this not the carpenter, the son of Mary, and brother of James, Joseph, Judas, and Simon? And are not his sisters here with us? So they were offended at him. So they knew him as a child, and they can't get past that. He's just the carpenter. He can't be something special. He was just a carpenter. He's the son of Mary. Now that's interesting, because ordinarily they would have called him the son of Joseph. So that's either telling us that Joseph has died, or that rumors have gone around that he wasn't really Joseph's son. He was Mary's son, but we're not sure about Joseph. But again, they're downplaying him. Now, what's interesting is they should have been the ones that saw the specialness there, because, hey, we knew him as a kid, and this is not something he did as a kid. This is special. You would think about in these times, maybe someone in your town goes on America's Got Talent or The Voice or one of those shows, and they start to win, and you go, wow, you know what? Hey, I know that person. I remember when they were just starting out, and they were so humble, and we knew they were going to be special. He's not getting that response. He's like, no, we know I don't care if you think he's special. We don't think he's special. He can't be better than any of us here. And the response they get is in verse 4. But Jesus said to them, A prophet is not without honor except in his own country, among his own relatives, in his own house. So he's saying, hey, you know what? You are purposely denying me because you don't want to accept the truth of what must be happening, that I'm doing this because God is here. Verse 5, Now he could do no mighty work there except that he laid his hands on a few sick people and healed them. That's not saying some people want to claim that is, hey, you know what? The people have no faith in him, so Jesus is powerless to do anything there because the people have no faith. That's not what that said. What it means is, hey, you know what? The people have no faith in me. If I did the greatest mighty miracle in the world in front of them, they still wouldn't have any faith in me, so I'm not going to do it. I'm going to leave them in their ignorance, because if I show them the truth and they stay in their ignorance, that's 10 times worse than if they just stay in their ignorance. Maybe somewhere down the line, a miracle will win them over, but it isn't going to win them over now, so I'm not going to do any. I'll heal a few people that need healed, that have some faith, but that's it. Nothing like I've been doing in all the regions that I've been to. Verse 6, he marveled because of their unbelief. Again, they should have been one of the first ones to recognize something special is going on, but they don't. Then he went about the villages in a circuit, teaching, but he's going to keep his teaching going. So no miracles, but he is teaching. Verse 7, and he called the 12 to himself, and he began to send them out 2 by 2. So he sends them out in 6 groups. And he gave them power over unclean spirits. He commanded them to take nothing for the journey except a staff, no bag, no bread, no copper in their money belts, but to wear sandals and not to put on 2 tunics. So he's sending them out, and he's saying, you know what, don't take any preparations to do this. Go as you are right now. Whatever you have on your back, that's what you're going with. You're going to trust trust the process. And he delegates some authority over them. Delegates authority over the unclean spirits and gives them permission to heal people. Verse 10, also he said to them, in whatever place you enter a house, stay there till you depart from that place, and whoever will not receive you nor hear you when you depart from there, shake off the dust under your feet as a testimony against them. Assuredly I say to you, it will be more tolerable for Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city. So, you're not going out to make money, put on shows. You're going to go into a city, you're going to find somebody and say, this is the person who we're going to stay with. We're going to teach. If our teaching is accepted, we're going to continue to teach. But if they reject us, boom, we're out of there. We're going somewhere else. Verse 12, so they went out and they preached that people should repent. And they cast out many demons and anointed with oil many who were sick and healed them. Now King Herod heard of him, for his name had become well known, him being Jesus. And he said, John the Baptist is risen from the dead, and therefore these powers are at work in him. Others said it is Elijah, and others said it is the prophet, or like one of the prophets. But when Herod heard, he said, this is John whom I beheaded. He has been raised from the dead. For Herod himself had sent and laid hold of John, and bound him in prison for the sake of Herodias, his brother Philip's wife. For he had married her. She's also his niece. Because John had said to Herod, it is not lawful for you to have your brother's wife. Therefore Herodias held it against him and wanted to kill him. But she could not, for Herod feared John, knowing that he was a just and holy man, and he protected him. And when he heard him, he did many things and heard him gladly. So he's got a kind of a love-hate relationship with John, and he's afraid to move on him. Afraid to kill him, but afraid to let him run loose in the city, telling people how evil Herod really is. Verse 21, then an opportune day came when Herod on his birthday gave a feast for his nobles, the high officers and the chief men of Galilee. And when Herodias' daughter herself came in and danced and pleased Herod and those who sat with him, the king said to the girl, ask me whatever you want, and I will give it to you. He also swore to her, whatever you ask me, I will give you up to half my kingdom. So she went out and said to her mother, what shall I ask? And she said, the head of John the Baptist. Immediately she came in with haste to the king and asked, saying, I want you to give me at once the head of John the Baptist on a platter. And the king was exceedingly sorry, because of the oaths and because of those who sat with him, he did not want to refuse her. Doesn't want to lose face. Immediately the king sent an executioner and commanded his head to be brought. And he went and beheaded him in prison, brought his head on a platter and gave it to the girl. And the girl gave it to her mother. When his disciples heard of it, they came and took away his corpse and laid it in a tomb. So this has happened beforehand, but these two stories are kind of coming together, and Herod is thinking, well, it's John the Baptist come back to life. He's haunting me from the grave. Verse 30, then the apostles gathered to Jesus and told him all things, both what they had done and what they had taught. So they come back, give an account. We find out, they're finding out, John's been killed. And he said to them, come aside by yourselves to a deserted place and rest a while. For there were many coming and going, and they did not even have time to eat. So they departed to a deserted place in the boat by themselves. But the multitude saw them depart, and many knew him and ran there on foot from all the cities. They arrived before them and came together to him. And Jesus, when he came out, saw a great multitude and was moved with compassion for them, because they were like sheep not having a shepherd. So he began to teach them many things. When the day was now far spent, his disciples came to him and said, "This is a deserted place, and already the hour is late. Send them away, that they may go into the surrounding country and villages and buy themselves bread, for they have nothing to eat." But he answered and said to them, "You give them something to eat." And they said to him, "Shall we go and buy 200 denarii worth of bread and give them something to eat?" A denarii was about a day's wages, so 200 days' wages to feed all these people, which they don't have. Verse 38, but he said to them, "How many loaves do you have? Go and see." And when they found out, they said, 5 and 2 fish. Then he commanded them to make them all sit down in groups on the green grass. Green grass, so it must be springtime. So they sat down in ranks of hundreds and fifties, and when he had taken the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, he looked up to heaven, blessed and broke the loaves, and gave them to his disciples to set before them. And the 2 fish he divided among them all. So they all ate and were filled, and they took up 12 basketfuls of fragments and of the fish. Now those who had eaten the loaves were about 5,000 men, and that word does mean males. So 5,000 men, there were probably women and children present. There could have been 6,000, 10,000, 20,000 people there that are being fed by 5 loaves and 2 fishes. And also in the Greek, it's obvious that Jesus is dividing. Jesus is where the abundance is coming from. He divides the loaves, and then he takes that half and divides it again, and he takes that half and divides it again, and takes that half and divides it again. Jesus is providing. And we want to see the parallel with the Exodus story where manna comes down to feed the multitude. God will provide. Jesus is providing. Verse 45, immediately he made his disciples get into the boat and go before him to the other side to Bethsaida, while he was sent the multitude away. And when he had sent them away, he departed to the mountains to pray. Now when evening came, the boat was in the middle of the sea, and he was alone on the land. Then he saw them straining at rowing, for the wind was against them. So he's up in the mountains, looking down, seeing that they're struggling. Now about the 4th watch of the night, he came to them walking on the sea, and would have passed them by. I always smirk when I hear that, and laugh when I hear that. Jesus walking on the water, and the verb there for walking is no, just out for a stroll, not bothered by the wind, not bothered by the waves, just out for a stroll, passing by the boat. Hey fellas, what's up? And his intention was to just keep right on walking. Verse 40. Then they saw him. Verse 49. And when they saw him walking on the sea, they supposed it was a ghost and cried out, for they all saw him and were troubled. But immediately he talked with them and said to them. So he was intending to pass by, but he freaks them out so bad that he has to stop and go, No, it's me, guys. Be of good cheer. It is I. Do not be afraid. Then he went up into the boat to them, and the wind ceased, and they were greatly amazed in themselves beyond measure, and marveled, for they had not understood about the loaves, because their heart was hardened. He can take 5 loaves and divide it and feed thousands of people. He has all mastery and power over the physical world. And if he can do that, he can walk on the waves. He can command storms to cease. But their heart was hardened. They're still not seeing Jesus the way Jesus is. They're seeing the Messiah the way they think the Messiah was going to come. Verse 53, when they had crossed over, they came to the land of Gennesaret and anchored there. And when they came out of the boat, immediately the people recognized him, ran through that whole surrounding region, and began to carry about on beds those who were sick to wherever they heard he was. Wherever he entered into villages, cities, or the country, they laid the sick in the marketplaces and begged him that they might just touch the hem of his garment. And as many as touched him were made well. May God bless the reading of his word. May God bless you. Bye.